Hello everyone, my name is Natalia Batista and this video will be 3 tips for basic character design for comics, manga and animation. Okay, let's start. I'm using Clip Studio Paint, but you can use paper and pen or some other digital program. My basic 3 character design tips is 1. Make the cast of characters diversified. Why, you may ask? Because the reader or the viewer of this animation needs to easily identify each character to know who's talking and what is happening. Also, because it will feel more natural and realistic and believable if the character doesn't look just the same. Look at the natural world. We look all different. We have different body shapes, length, body sizes, ethnicities, and we look different. That is also important in drawn animation or manga or comics. It will also be much easier for people to identify with it. More people can find someone they look the same as. To be able to recognize yourself or someone you know is much higher if you diversify the cast. How do you do this, you might ask? First of all, differentiate the characters in body sizes, age, length, gender, and types. So I've made a base here for 4 characters that are all different heights. They look like they have different ages and also different genders and different body types. So now I'm gonna make these into characters that you can actually have in a comic or in an animation. So I make the bottom layer, which was my sketch layer, a little bit lighter, and then I can trace it over. And right now I don't focus on details and I don't focus on making it look good. I just want to try out shapes and designs. This first character is a character I think I would consider as a teacher. So right now, this teacher character has a bag with papers and maybe even test scores for the latest school test and some kind of more business or work attire. So my second tip is to make the character's personality visible by just looking at the picture. Why, you might ask? This makes the reader engaged or interested in the character. It also reminds the character of someone they know, so they can identify, oh, this character is like my mother, or this character is like my friend. It's also a great way for you to get inspired when you're actually going to write the story. If you know the character's personality by just how they look or how they act, this will make it much easier to know what they will say or what will happen in the scene. So it helps you write the story, actually. How do you make the character's personality visible? First of all, give the character personality traits or habits. Like the first character here, the teacher character, I made into a smoker. This makes her stand out, and I think this character is more relaxed, doesn't care so much about her health or about what's happening. She just moves along in life and needs something to make her stress down, and that is her smoking. Or maybe, this is also important, you have to think about what kind of life have they lived. Maybe the smoking thing is something she's been taught since early age. Maybe she was a really cool high school girl and then she kind of developed into a smoker. This second character is probably more of a gym teacher or some kind of coach. And this character is probably gonna be an important helper or guide in the story. Also think about unique facial and body movements. So this character that I made here, this young character, is probably gonna be the main character or some of the main characters. So this one has a very energetic body movement or very strong body movement with the hand in the side and the legs spread apart. It looks like a character who can take on the world and do things. So this energetic movement or energetic personality should be displayed in every movement this character has. My third tip is to make the character stand out or not. This depends on whether it's a main character or a supporting character. Why, you might ask? Well, it's important that the main character is interesting and is more interesting than the rest. Because if you make some of the side characters more cool or engaging, that character will be more interesting to follow, and the reader might ask, why did we have to follow this main character, which is quite boring? So make sure the main character looks cool and interesting. And also, it's important that the background figures doesn't overshine the main. So if you make characters just in the background, don't make them too cool or don't give them too interesting hairstyles. Make them pretty plain, unless there's a reason to make them pretty cool. How, you ask? Well, first of all, you can use color to make the character stand out. So now that I'm coloring, I'm gonna make sure that the characters have different color palettes. So for example, the teacher character have green and gray and a little bit of melanin in her skin tone, while the coach character have blue color and some gray. The main character I will make very much a standout, and I think this is the young girl who's gonna be the main character. First of all, she's gonna have a lot of melanin. We also need to remember that ethnicity is something that plays in. And there's not a lot of comics and manga that is about a main character that is a black girl. So we need to think about that as well. But the main character, I also want her to be more interesting and stand out in her color schemes on her clothes. So I actually gave her a red shirt and green pants. The combination of red and green is about combination of contrast colors. Colors that are on different sides in the color spectrum. Together, these colors stand out and pop from the page. So if this is a color comic, this will be a good way to make sure that this character stands out and looks interesting. The next character, the final character, is the grandmother. She is more into gardening, and she's probably the main character's grandmother. So she likes purple and kind of demuted, more flowery clothes, and she also has stockings on all the time. And she always carries around a pot or something that has to do with gardening. Another thing is to make recognizable hairstyles for the main character and maybe more plain hairstyles for the supporting characters. So this is the final cast. I gave them names as well, and now I can actually make a comic about them if I would like to. And my recommendation is, while you draw, you actually think about who they are, what kind of life do they live, and in this way you'll kind of create a story while you're drawing. Write down some stuff on a paper on the side and make sure you diversify and you use colors in a very effective way. Thank you so much and good luck with your character designs.